Rhapsody of Realities for Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Today's article by Pastor Chris. Topic: The kindness of God. And the king said, Is there not yet any of the house of Saul, that I may shew the kindness of God unto him? 2 Samuel 9:3. In the Old Testament, the word translated mercy comes from the Hebrew word hesed. It means loving kindness, but more specifically, it is covenant kindness. Kindness rooted in covenant, not in merit. The example of David and Jonathan's son, Mephibosheth, gives us a clear and practical picture of how covenant mercy works. 2 Samuel 9. Long after Jonathan's death and well into his reign as king, David was moved by the covenant he had made with Jonathan. He asked a deliberate question: Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may shew him kindness for Jonathan's sake? 2 Samuel 9:1. David wasn't asking if there was someone he could merely acknowledge. The word shew used means to demonstrate. David was looking for someone to whom he could practically and visibly demonstrate covenant kindness. In fact, in the third verse, David called it the kindness of God. How profound. Mephibosheth was lame in both feet and practically abandoned and forgotten by most. However, he was summoned to the king's presence. But when he came before David, he fell on his face in fear. He expected judgment from the king who had succeeded his grandfather, King Saul. But David's first words were, "Fear not." That's always the language of mercy. David restored to him all the land that had belonged to Saul, and then offered him something greater still, a permanent place at the king's table. This was covenant kindness, which David called the kindness of God. Why did he call it the kindness of God? It's because covenant kindness is shown toward someone who has no merit or claim to it. That person doesn't qualify. True mercy flows from the greater to the lesser. By virtue of that mercy, the one with nothing is brought into royalty, lifted, honored, and seated at the table, just as we are today seated together with Christ. This is the transforming power of covenant kindness. It reminds of the scripture, He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. 1 Samuel 2:8. Perhaps there's someone coming to your spirit even now that requires your covenant kindness. Go ahead and show that one the kindness of God. Prayer and confession. Dear Father, I thank you for your covenant kindness and mercy toward me. I receive your loving kindness with understanding and gratitude. I live in the consciousness